Well, hello everyone. This is Dr. Sandra. I am live here on Periscope. I'm sitting here in my home office today, and I wanted to come to you for just a few minutes to bring you a word, an inspirational word, and something I want you to remember as you go into 2017. I see some of you are joining in. Welcome, welcome. Hi. I can't see who that is. SAM Image Company. Is that Shanae? Hey, Shanae. I think that's who that is. How are you doing? Recognize your picture. Hey, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Yay! Yes, I got your name right. I said it right this time, huh? Well, welcome, welcome. I know other people are going to be joining in, but I want to go ahead and get started. Hello, I see some other people are coming in. Thank you for the hearts in advance. Please go ahead, share this with your followers. Thank you so much for sharing with your followers. Retweet it, share it, because this is a message that I want everybody to hear. It's one of those inspirational messages, but at the same time, it's going to move you to do something. And that's what we really want to make sure that you do on today. There are about 31 plus 2, because you got 31 days in December, and then today and tomorrow left in November. And I don't want you to waste those days or waste that time. So that's why I want to make sure that I bring this message to you today. Hello, welcome, welcome. Oh, it's somebody's first day on Periscope. Stan, welcome, welcome. It's Stanison96, first day on Periscope. Welcome. I count it an honor that you're watching me and you're on Periscope for the first day. Welcome, Brenda. Come on in. Everybody, invite your followers. Share this on Facebook. Share it on Twitter. Again, my name is Dr. Sandra of Dr. Sandra Speaks, and I am founder and CEO of the Vision Building Institute. And I just want to bring to you today an inspirational and a challenging message to get you moving with the remainder 32 days that we have left in 2016. I want to get you moving. And the reason, and you might say, well, why do you want to get us moving? You know why? Because I know that there is so much greatness stored up in you, and you need to take that and move it and get moving with it so you can do the assignment that God called you to do. It's so exciting to know all the things that are in store for all of us as we move forward into this new year. But however, what I'm finding is that some people are moving and some people are not. And the ones that are moving and taking the classes and getting coached and doing whatever it is that you need to do to move forward, you're doing those things. But for others, sometimes we find excuses and we don't do the kinds of things that we know we need to do, and mainly because we find something in our way and we just don't do it. Okay, so what I want to do today is I want to inspire you, teach you, and give you a challenge to move you to the next level that you need to be in terms of getting prepared or getting ready to step into 2017. I hope that's okay. All right, give me some hearts. Remember to give me the hearts. I appreciate the hearts. I think that's wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. For those of you that can. For those of you that are watching this on the replay, I thank you for joining me on the replay. And if you have any questions, please feel free to go to my Facebook page, which is Dr. Sandra Speaks. Look me up, send me a question or whatever, and I'll be glad to try to get back to you and answer whatever questions that you have. But today, let's talk about 3 simple words. 3 very simple words. And those words are find a way. Find a way. All right. So you may ask me, what am I talking about? I have my notes down here in front of me because I like to make sure that I always cover everything that I need to cover. So it's find a way. Okay. Those are 3 simple words. Now, I'm going to focus on those words by asking you a question. You know, so many times we say that, thank you, Shanae. So many times we say that God has given us a vision and we're going to do whatever it takes to execute and work that vision. But here's my question for you. Did God really give you the vision? Did God really give you what you say is in your heart that you want to do? And the reason I ask that question is because if God truly gave it to you, and it's something that you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that God gave you to do, then my question becomes for you, why aren't you moving forward and doing it? Why aren't you? It's just a simple question. If you say that God said and God placed this vision in your heart, then why aren't you moving forward and actually taking action on what God said to do? All right. Now, the reason I ask that is because I have women come to me all the time and they'll say to me, God gave me this to do, but I just can't because. Or God gave me this to do and I don't know how, so I'm not moving forward. Okay. Here is my response to that. And it is, find a way to do the vision that God has placed in your heart. Find a way to do the vision that God has placed in your heart. Because if God truly gave it to you, then you'll do whatever it takes to make sure that it happens. Okay? Don't let the greatness, don't let the increase, don't allow the abundance that God gave you through an idea for a business, through an idea for a ministry, through an idea for your life, and I call all of that vision, okay? Don't allow those ideas to sit dormant in you and you not move forward and do what He said do just because you don't know how, okay? Find a way. Find a way to get the information you need. Find a way to get the teaching, the coaching, the mentoring, whatever it is that you need. Find a way to get it. Now, I have to tell you that I was watching one of the people that I follow on Periscope. His name is Markeith Braden. And I've been following Markeith for a while. And Markeith is the founder and CEO of what's called the School of Purpose. And he said that he was at a function, and while he was at this function, he heard someone named Clint Gray, and I don't know who Clint Gray is, I don't know anything about him, but Clint Gray, who was the CEO of the Green Truck Moving Company, actually said those three words, to find a way to do what you've been called to do. Find a way to do the assignment that you have. Just find a way. So when Markeith said that, it really struck with me because I know there are so many of us out there that for whatever reason, we don't do what has been placed in our hearts to do. And we miss out on our abundance, on our increase, on all the different things that are in store for us. We miss out on those things just because we don't find a way. So those are the three words that I want to share with you. Find a way. So here's the thing. If God has given you a book to write, then find a way to write it. Find 5 minutes a day to spend working on that book. Find 5 minutes a day to spend making sure that you can get some writing done in that day. If God has said for you to start a new career, if He said it's time for you to leave where you are and start a new career, then find a way to start preparing. I'm not telling you to walk off the job tomorrow. I'm not going to do that. But what I am going to say is, if you know that where you are today is not where you're supposed to be, or you know that God has more for you and you're not going to get it at the current job where you are, then find a way, take the initiative to go and figure out, what is it that I need to do? Do I need more education? Do I need coaching? Do I need to go and look up look up more information? Do I need to update my resume? Okay, do I need to update my Vita? What do I need to do? Had to get a sip of water there. What do I need to do to find a way to get to that new career? What do I need to do to find a way to write that book? Let me show you something that I did. This is one of my find a ways. I think this is a writing challenge. And I don't remember if Markeith said this or who said this, but this is a writing challenge that I had. I actually challenge myself every day to write 500 words, whether it is 500 words for an email, 500 words in my new book coming up. Regardless of what it is, I find a way to write every single day, okay? And I challenge myself by writing it down, and I put it over here in front of my computer. Now, if you need to start your business, find a way to start that business, okay? Find a way to start the ministry. But whatever you do, find a way to get it done. Because just sitting like this and hoping it's going to drop out of the sky for you is not going to happen, okay? You've got to put some work towards finding a way to making happen what needs to happen in your life, okay? When God gives you a big idea, Immediately ask, God, how do I do this? Okay. And what will happen is that when you start to move, God will position you for more. See, here's the thing. God can't put resources and people in front of you for you to do something with if you're not prepared for it. Again, God can't give you the resources, okay, or the people. He can't put mentors or coaches in front of you if you are not ready to move with it. So when he gives you a big idea, what have you done with it? If he's giving you a vision for a ministry, for a business, for your next level in your life, for your family, okay, what have you done with the vision that God has given you? So I want to tell you, when God gives you something, there's a reason that he gives it to you. When God gives you something, there is a reason that he gives it to you. And so when he gives it to you, he has now given you an assignment that you need to do. He has now given you an assignment that you need to accomplish. So my question is, are you doing it? If what God has given you, you say God has given you a vision, and if he's given you that vision, then why aren't you working it? All right? Why aren't you moving forward and doing what God has said to do? I challenge you today to find a way to get done what it is that you need to do to make sure you're moving forward with what God said to do. So here's the thing. All right? We always ask how. We always ask God how, or we always ask other people how. What I want you to do is just start to move. Go to the library and get a book. So if God has said for you to start a business, all right, and you know what that business is, God has said, even though you're working full time, to go ahead and start a business, then I want you today, don't wait till tomorrow, either today, okay, right now, not right now because you're watching me, but either later today, all right, get on the library's website. If you can't afford to go to Amazon and buy the book or buy information, then go to your public library. There is so much information at your public library. And most public libraries are accessible online. So you can check out the book and do all of that online so you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait when you get there, okay? If you don't know how to use the library, then maybe you do need to go to the library so someone there can show you how to use it. And then after that, then you can do it online for yourself. But here's the thing. Thank you so much, Sarah, for inviting followers. So here's the thing. I want you all to remember to find a way to do whatever it is that God has called you to do. So let me tell you this. When I was working full time, I was the senior vice president and chief of technology for the community college system here in North Carolina. And I knew that there was so much tied up in me that I couldn't do while I was there. I mean, you work for state government. There's only so much you can do. And because you are a public servant. And so therefore, there are certain things that you just can't do. The government doesn't allow that. And of course, when you're working for government, you work for government. Now, I knew there was more inside of me, but I didn't let it stop me. I didn't let, because of my job position, I didn't let that stop me from at least researching and understanding what was this next phase in my life going to look like. So I went back to school. I went online. I did a lot of research online because I knew that God was calling me to something greater than where I was. Now, where I was great. Keep in mind, I was a C-level executive. All right, C-level, chief level executive. Last year, I was named North Carolina's Technology Woman of the Year. Okay, I have a lot of credentials behind my name. But even though I had accomplished all of that, I still knew there was more. I knew there was more for Sandra, but I couldn't do but so much because I was there at state government. And again, when you're working for state government, you're working for them. You have to give your employer who gives you a paycheck, you have to give them the work that's due them from 8 to 5. That's biblical. Okay, that's biblical. All right. Now, but when you're not working, when you're at home, when I was at home, I would come home, I would research and figure out how in the world can I make this happen? How can I be the speaker, the coach, the consultant that I really want to do? How can I really help women to be able to take what's inside, take the vision that's inside of them and move that vision forward? How can I help women in leadership, in companies? Because that's what I really wanted to do. So I began to research that. I found a way. Okay, I found a way. So you're saying that's what you do now. Yes, yes. Find a way to get the work done. Find a way to be able to say, you know what? I know this is what I'm called to do. And just because I'm working all day, and again, let me be the first one to say, when you're working all day, work. Work, work, work. The Bible says to work as unto the Lord. So you want to give your employer what is due the employer, okay? Don't try to do your side hustle on the job. That's not right and that's not biblical, okay? So while you're at work, work. But let me tell you something else I learned to do at work is at work, I learned more about leadership. I learned about budgets. I learned about strategy. I learned everything I could learn. So when God said, now it's time to move away from that job and do what and run with the vision that I've given you to run with full time, I was ready. So here's the thing. So many times we say, well, we can't find a way because, I am working all day and I don't have time to find a way. Well, you know what? Find a way. Welcome everybody. I see some people from some different countries coming in. Welcome, welcome. Find a way such that you can get everything that you're learning on your job, and then ask yourself, how can I apply what I'm learning on my job to what I do to what I want to do? Okay? You're working on a job, and that is wonderful. But what is the job giving to you? Let me repeat that. You're working on a job every day and you're giving your time, you're giving your smarts, you're giving what you know to the job. That's wonderful. You should be doing that because you get paid to do that. But here's the thing. What is the job giving to you? The job should be increasing your knowledge. It should be increasing all the different things that you know. All right. If you're working on a job as a programmer, for example, I have a lot of programmers that are computer programmers that work for me, and they wrote code all day long. You know what? But they do more than write code. All right. It may look like they're only writing code, but they have to learn how to be strategic. They have to learn how to be disciplined. They have to learn how to take everything it is that they're learning, and they have to put that into practice. So what are they getting from the job? What are you getting such that now that's building you up? So when I went back and I began to look at all the things that the job gave me, I am thankful. I am grateful for being able to be on the job. So I know sometimes we look at it and we say about our jobs, oh, I'll be so glad when I can leave this job. Don't look at your job that way anymore. Don't look at your job as in, I'll be so glad when I'm able to leave. Look at your job and ask, what is the job giving to me today? When I walk in to my job on tomorrow, ask yourself, what is that job giving me today? And then be thankful for it, okay? Because what are you doing? Is you're finding a way to do that thing. You're getting closer and closer to finding a way of doing that thing that God has called you to do. So don't let your current job be a hindrance. Let your current job be a stepping stone. Let you learn, you grow, you get information. If you write reports on your job, then hey, you now learn how to write reports. So when you get ready to write a grant for the ministry that God has called you to, you know how to do it. All right. Thank you, Shanae. Yes, the job gives you opportunity. The job gives you opportunity. Being a C-level executive, I didn't have that many people that reported to me. But I had a lot of people under me, but I didn't have that many people that reported to me. But I interviewed this gentleman one day for a particular position, and I asked him a question. I said, what would make you leave this job? And because he was reporting to me, that was very important for me. And he said something to me that I will never, ever forget. And some people always ask me, how do you know when it's time to leave a job? And I use this as my gauge. When I'm giving more to the job than the job is giving to me, it's time to go. And that's what he said. He said, when I give more to the job than the job is giving to me, it's time to go. So here's the thing. When you walk into your job, tomorrow, when you walk into your job after lunch today, all right, ask yourself, what is the job giving to me? And don't just say a paycheck, because you earn that. Okay, you earned the paycheck, okay, because you worked every day. But here's the thing. The job gives you skills, applicable skills that you can take someplace and then have and then take to another place. Okay, that you have and you can take, you have those skills and you can take them to another place. So the job gives you the ability to find a way to do what it is that God has called you to do. So no longer let it be an excuse that you can't do what God has called you to do. Don't let that be an excuse another day. Don't let your job be an excuse. Your job is the stepping stone because it gives you skills, knowledge, and abilities that you can apply to yourself that now you can also apply to the vision that God has given you. So again, here's the question I have for you. Did God really give you the vision that you say that you want to run with? Because if he did, then you should be running with it. Don't let your job be an excuse. Don't allow that another second to be an excuse as to why you're not moving forward. I want you to find a way to write that book. I want you to find a way to start that new business. I want you to find a way to actually move forward in business. Find a way to start that ministry. Find a way to begin that new career. Don't let where you are today, even if it's a job, even if it's your own company. Some of us run our own companies and we still find excuses as to why we can't do things, okay? Don't let where you are today be the excuse for why you're not doing what God has put on the inside of you to do. Find a way to do it. Let where you are today feed you such that it adds to who you are. Let your current job give you knowledge, skills, and abilities that you can take to that next level that God is calling you to. When I look over the past 15 years of my life, and I have spoken to thousands, literally. As a matter of fact, I think probably now with the speaking that I do now, tens of thousands of people. I have written countless documents. When I got my doctorate, I wrote my dissertation. Now I sit on committees and I read other dissertations. I was named, as I said, North Carolina's Technology Woman of the Year. At my alma mater, I was named Alumni of the Year. All these different accolades are great, but they came because I allowed my job to feed me. All right. I allowed my job to feed me such that I learned knowledge, skills, abilities to be able to take with me that are a part of me. You see, when you walk away from a job, you may be walking away from the kinds of things that you're doing. All right. But those things that the job taught you, when you leave, those go with you. You got me? When you leave, the things that you learn from a job, they go with you. And so I'm excited to be telling you this today. So I want you to look at your job differently. Okay. Look at your job differently when you go in it, either today, if you're at lunch and you're watching me and you're going to go back into your job, or look at your job differently tomorrow. If you're not at work today and you're going to go back in the office tomorrow, look at your job differently. And when you're sitting there and you're doing some work, ask yourself, what is this work doing for me? Okay. This work that you're doing on the job is helping you to find a way to be able to do the next thing that God has called you to. Okay. When you go into work and you have to make a presentation, don't get all upset about having to make the presentation, or don't get all nervous because you got to speak. Find a way to get it done and know that now you now have the ability to speak. You now have the ability to do presentations. Some of you have abilities that you're learning on your job that you could take other places. You just haven't done it yet. Exactly. God is preparing you for greater, and he prepares us where we are. God prepares us where we are. So some of you may feel that your job is a hindrance. And let me tell you, your job isn't a hindrance. Your job is a point of preparation for what he has called you to do. Your job is a point of preparation for that bigger and that greater. And you know, for so long, I was on my job and I knew there was more and I knew there was greater. I just didn't know how to get to it. And now that I do know how to get there, and now that I've been doing it, I want to help you all do the same thing. So, I was looking at my scopes and I said, I really want to talk about abundance and the gift that's in you. But you know what? I want to talk about how you can be successful on your job and how you can be successful moving from the job to what God has called you to do. And for some of you, that's business. For some of you, that's ministry. For some of you, that's another job. But a lot of us work today. You actually work today. You're in a job, but you know that there's greater for you. And sometimes greater isn't just making a lot more money. Sometimes greater is just having the satisfaction of doing what God has called you to do. And that is wonderful. So when you see my scopes from now on, they're going to be targeted for those of you that are working and you know there is greater and you're ready to get to that greater. For those of you that you're working a 9 to 5, and again, there's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5. Work it. You get a paycheck. But don't allow your 9 to 5 just to be a 9 to 5. Let that 9 to 5 be a feeder to feed you with the knowledge, the skills, and the abilities that you can take to the next thing that God has for it. Yes, work that work. I like that. Work that work. Okay. So just make sure that you understand that where you are planted today, you are there so you can gain what you need to go to that next level, that next opportunity that God has for you. Remember what I said earlier. God's not going to bring an opportunity to you until you're ready. He's not going to bring a next level opportunity to you until you are ready. And for some of you, being ready is in the job that you have on. Hello, Pastor Cassandra. How you doing? Welcome. Hello. So again, I am excited because you know what? I think I finally found what it is that I need to be scoping about. So many times I get questions all the time. Well, Dr. Sandra, you left a 6-figure job. Yes, I left a 6-figure job. I'm making 6 figures and now I'm ready to make 7. Okay. I don't really talk about it a lot because money is not everything. Money, it helps. It helps now, but it's not everything. So I've learned how to make 6 figures. We've been there and done that, but now it's time to do 7 figures. And in order to make 6 figures, there's some certain work that you have to do, whether you're on a job or you're doing it for yourself. I will give you this information. I will tell you this right here. And that is everybody should have, and this is a nugget for you all out there, everybody should have 5 streams of income. All right. I don't want to get off on another subject. Okay. I don't want to get off on another subject, but let me leave that with you today. And I want you to marinate on that until tomorrow. Okay. 5. Yes. Everybody. I took a millionaire mentoring class. My husband and I took a millionaire mentoring class many, many years ago. It was more than 15 years ago because our son wasn't even born and our son's 15. And in it, he said that every millionaire has 5 or more streams of income. Now, I've heard 5, I've heard 7, and that's great. Okay. But at least have 5 streams of income. You know what? I said that to someone on my job one day. It's when I was working. I said on my job one day that everybody needs at least 5 streams of income. And they looked at me. This lady looked at me and she said, I get a check. What do I need more streams of income for? But you know what happened? She got laid off. She got laid off and she didn't know what to do. Okay, different scope. Maybe I'll cover that later. Okay, can't cover that today because that'll take me longer than I want to be on the scopes. I want to make this pointed and targeted. Our scope today was on find a way. Find a way to do what God has said for you to do. Use your job. Use where you are as a stepping stone to get to where God wants you to go. Okay? Don't waste the time on your job. Exactly. Find a way to make it happen. Do not waste the time on your job complaining and wanting to get out of there. When it's time for you to go, believe me, you will either leave on your own or God will push you out. One or the other. But either way, it's time for you to go. All right. So here's what I want to tell you. Find a way. Somebody put that up there again. Find a way to do what God has called you to do. So now, when you hear me scoping from now on, I'm going to be scoping about the workplace. I'm going to be scoping about moving from your job into what God has called you to do. Some people, scope about moving from a job into business or whatever, and that's all good. But I want to scope about moving from your job into what God has called you to do. I want you to understand what happens in your heart, what happens in your mind, what happens when other people know that you work with, know that you're called for greater, and they can't take it, okay? I've experienced all of that. So why am I scoping about it? Because you guys have been asking me these kind of questions. So I figure I'll scope about my experiences over the past 20 years being an executive and how that came to an end and how it all positioned me for business, for being a CEO, for ministry. I'm going to tell y'all what, there is so much freedom. I am so free in doing what I do now that had I known it would be this great, I would have done it a long time ago. I want you guys to get there too. But you know what? It's a process. It is not an overnight thing, but you can do it. So if you're not on my email list, please, please, please get on my email list. It is drsandraspeaks.com, drsandraspeaks.com. Get on my email list, and so you can get emails from me. If you are on Facebook and you want to be a part of a like-minded group that talks about vision and what God has called us to do in ministry, in business, in our careers, then please be a part of the Vision Building Institute Facebook group. Join that Facebook group, okay? And also, I want to, what did I do with it? Oh, I want to show you my my latest book. It's called The Ministry Within. The Ministry Within. Thank you so much, Shanae, for putting that up. Yes, the Vision Building Institute is a Facebook group, and there is my that's my Gmail. But please also get on my email list, drsandraspeaks.com. All right, and here is my latest book, The Ministry Within. This is a ministry. This is a book for those of you that are called to ministry, those of you that are struggling with ministry, and those of you who are in ministry. Okay, this is the book of my professional journey from about being in ministry or being called to ministry, and how I went from being called to ministry to actually stepping into that, but what happened on the inside of me. And the ministry within, the ministry that you have to struggle, that's the thing people just don't tell you about. A lot of people don't tell you about that struggle, and that's what this is about. So, and you can get this book on bit.ly/The Ministry Within. bit.ly The Ministry Within. I thank you all so much for being with me on today. It has truly been a pleasure being with you. I am excited to be able to, thank you so much for putting that up, Shanae. I am so excited to be able to be with you. I'm not going to say it's going to be daily. I don't know yet. All I know is what I'm going to be talking about in this season. I think in this season it is so important for us not to get stuck because we're at a job. It is so important in this season because believe me when I tell you this, there is more out there. There is more for you out there than where you are right now. Get that. There is more for you out there than where you are right now. So ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you for being with me today. Y'all have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.